All right. Hey there, Patty Dominguez here with my own 3 tips for damn, I wish somebody would have told me that. Now, as you know, the whole idea for this came along because of my 10-year anniversary being in entrepreneurship. And I am super passionate about helping other entrepreneurs, women in business really find their flow in the super noisy world of starting your own business. And the reality is, it's not for the faint of heart. It is not always easy. And I don't believe these conversations are had enough. And that was really why I wanted to put this all together. So, I mean, there's so much there. And as you know, with all of the other tips, the 96 other tips that you heard are so chock full of good stuff that it's so important for us to grab these little bits and pieces, and you'll see how over time we'll be like, oh my God, I remember hearing that. And so that's what we want to do, is we want to be a good steward of how we are grabbing these concepts. Once your mind expands to new ideas, it can never go back to the way it was. Actually posted that today because I thought it was so powerful and so telling around having information come at you all the time, and then just being really discerning about thought-provoking ideologies, philosophies, concepts that could literally change the course of your business. And that is what I was hoping to, that was really my intention, I should say, for putting this whole thing together. So, all right, with no further delay, here are my 3 tips. Tip number 1, your business results will meet your identity every time, no matter what. I, for the life of me, struggled with this for so long. And actually, it becomes a new level, new devil. You may have heard that saying. And what I mean by that is, have you ever wondered how it is that, and I've been coaching now for a while, there's some people who can take one concept and make, $5,000 a month. And then the other person goes to 85, 90, $100,000. I have personally coached both types of people. Same concept, but it's because of their identity. And I'm very thankful for the mentorship that I've received, the books that I've read, the people that I have had the ability to connect with, who have helped me with this realization. And so when you are confronted with what Gay Hendricks in the book The Big Leap talks about, he calls it the upper limit problem, is when you're brushing up against that comfort zone and it wants to keep you back at your normal, and then you're wondering, like, why can't I get beyond this threshold? Why can't I break through this thing? It's an upper limit problem. And so foundationally, there's some opportunities there for tweaking, right? So recognize when those things happen and do not put that on the side. Instead, address it, right? Have somebody that you go to that can help coaching. And then if you want to do the subconscious work, you can go through hypnosis or transformative types of things. I have done them all. I have people for these things, and it just really, really helps. Okay. Okay. The next one, tip number 2, is stop the courseritis. Oh my God, did I go through that? And I know so many people that have gone through that. And one of the things that I tell my clients when I first start to work with them, I'm like, promise me that for 100 days, you're going to let your credit card cool off. Don't buy any other courses. You don't need another course. We need to get back down to the fundamentals. And this is the thing that a lot of people will bypass. They won't go into the fundamentals that count. And the best story that I have for that, and let me caveat by saying that I am not a football fan, in that I don't know the teams, I don't know how many there are, I don't know when the Super Bowl is, or draft picks, or any of that other stuff. Ironically, I was like head cheerleader for my 8th grade squad, but I don't know anything about football. So, but I do have this really cool story that if you're a football fan, you may have heard, where it's about Vince Lombardi. And the story goes that I think it was like in the early 60s, the Green Bay Packers were really struggling. They had a heartbreaking season the season before, and they were just really struggling, right? And he comes along, Vince Lombardi, and he had this concept of let's go back down to the fundamentals. So he started out by saying this is a football. That's how they started out the season. Imagine saying this to a whole brigade of true professionals. And the important thing here is not taking anything for granted. And I know so many times I've seen these types of situations happen where I wish I would have stopped and gone back to the fundamentals. Instead, I made some assumptions early on with clients. I'm like, duh, I have to go back down to the fundamentals. As maybe tedious as it may be, it's really important to do those types of things. Okay. So all of this said, the reason that I'm bringing that up is because we think it's another thing that we need, and we're buying course after course after course after course. I promise you, if you go back to the fundamentals, the foundational principles of who you serve, what it is that you stand for, getting super clear in your message, what is the mind share that you want to capture, what is it that you want to be known for, what is the identity stuff that you have to work with in terms of what's that ownable thing that you're saying? Do people know what it is that you want to be known for? Right? Because the thing that I tell, and I've been on podcasts, people will say, well, how do we know that you are a positioning expert? I'm like, for 20 years in corporate, I was a part of new product launch introductions. I know the architecture of positioning, and I know how important it is. And then I bring that to my clients now in a version that makes sense for the solopreneur space. So I know, like I know, you know, and I think it was one of the interviews, actually a couple of them. But the one cool thing about, I don't know if you've seen Christine Casmar's interview, she talked about, it's like you have to be willing to own that thing that you're doing. So once you start from there, and then all these other things around positioning and your message to market match and having clarity on that and doing your market research homework, and then just having that fundamentals, these foundations in place, much like Vince Lombardi, don't take anything for granted. That will be the difference maker in your business. But most people want to bypass that because they think it's the next course that you need. They think that by going to some guru, I'm gurued out. I don't know about you, but going to some guru and thinking that that's the answer, no, it's like, just go back down to the fundamentals. I'll get off my soapbox. All right. And tip number 3 is marketing is always changing because your prospects are getting more and more savvy, right? Attention is at a premium. People are bombarded with all kinds of things. You see all kinds of marketing in their thread, all kinds of things. This is what you need, and then this is what you need, and then this is what you need. And so just have the awareness that launches that used to work, that you may have bought a course for, is not working as well anymore. Okay. There's a point of diminishing returns. The problem with marketing strategies is that these marketing strategies come, then everybody jumps on it, and then it depletes it, and then it fades away and it goes away. I think the big opportunity is if you are a solopreneur, is building a personal brand. And I'm not talking about your logo and your website and all that other stuff, the personal brand. What is it that you stand for, right? So once you have that and understand that building a personal brand has better longevity, right? When you understand the part of the personal brand, building that brand equity means that you can be in it for the long haul. And there's something really, really dynamic about that, meaning people will follow you because it's you. People buy you first. And that's what I really want you to take away, is that marketing is always changing. The tactics will come and go. The tactics are, yes, it's cool, like what's working now, but understand that building that personal brand is really where it's at. And if you're going to be in it for the long haul, something tells me that you do want to be in it for the long haul. Otherwise you wouldn't be watching this. So yeah, that's the important thing. Okay. So with that, those are my 3 tips that I want to impart that have been really important for me personally, that I'm like, damn, I wish somebody would have told me that. And what I mean also is, when you're marketing, above all else, I tell my clients ad nauseum, I'm like, build your list, build your list, build your list. I wish somebody would have told me that sooner. Build your list, because that becomes an asset. You cannot build your empire in rented land. And so that marketing that is always changing is only going to be as effective as the list that you have. That's it. So number 1, again, Always remember that your business results will meet your identity every time, no matter what. Number 2, stop with the course-itis, go with the fundamentals. And number 3, marketing is always changing. So it's really important that you be savvy and understand what are the assets that matter in your business. So with that, I hope that you have enjoyed this whole thing, and thank you for being a part of it. I really, really appreciate you being here. And as always, above all else, I always tell my clients, and I sign off telling people that your message matters. It does. So make sure that when you have this idea for this business, see it through. It deserves to come to light. It deserves to come to fruition. You deserve to have the success. You deserve to impact those people that you're meant to impact, because it matters. All of this, it really does. So thank you so much for checking it out, and I really appreciate you.